Alright, this is another game I played during chess camp. It started with e4, e5. I played a Vienna. They played c5. I played f4 because I knew if he took, then d4 would be very hard to control. And he played this check instead. I simply blocked out his queen. He dropped it back. Like, this was one of the worst games I played at the chess camp. I moved my knight to d5. He played queen to c6. And here, I got a bit fancy and played this. The idea being, if he takes, this is a royal fork, and he's losing. And instead, he moved his queen to d6. I traded in the center, played knight to f3, and sacrificed a pawn for faster development, traded the queens, and... oh. He developed his bishop to cover the c7 square, so I can't fork him. I brought my rook over. He offered to trade knights. I pinned his knight. We both finished development. Apparently, I should have taken the knight here. I guess the idea is to play knight b6. But instead, I retreated the bishop. I put it here. He castled. We traded some pieces. And I tried a bit more, put my rook on the 7th rank. Then when he attacks it, I bring my other rook to support it. Because a rook on the 7th rank is very strong, and I want to keep it there for later in the game. He played that. I attacked his pawns. We traded rooks, traded more pieces. Then I started attacking his pawns with my king. His king is still in the back row, so even though he is up one pawn, he's underdeveloped, so I used that to my advantage to start taking his pawns. And I started taking his pawns. And then took this one. They did not play rook b8, they played rook a8. We traded some more pawns, and it's a dead draw, apparently. He starts checking. I start pushing my pawn. And I get a huge advantage. The advantage is ballooning. But, like, this wouldn't let me promote for so long. I try to sack my rook. It's still a dead draw. They give up their rook, but it's still a draw. Like, because my king's too far away to stop the pawn. They push. I give a check, and here, the huge mistake. King h3. Like, if there's one time you're supposed to call the king, if there's one time you're supposed to call the king, it's in the endgame. Getting it cut off on the h-file like this is not good. Like, they must have been thinking it's similar to a queen versus rook pawn draw. But no. I start advancing my king. They push. I bring my king again. They push again. And now I have to move my rook or it's a stalemate. Played rook to b8. They're forced to move their king over. And that is checkmate. Like, if you're gonna play an ending when you have a rook's pawn against a rook, do not allow your king to get cut off on the side of the board. If it went here or something, then dead draw. Because I have to cover the promotion with my rook. I can try checking all I want. I can't make any progress because the pawn's always just going to be threatening to promote. As long as you never go to the h-file. So and stuff like that. Then, I can pull some tricks. And never allow your king to get cut off on the side of the board like this, especially not in the end game. Because from here, you saw how I just brought my king over and checkmated. And just won the game. Like, that would have been a draw. I would have had to give up my rook for the pawn. My opponent blundered. It's like, the main lesson I want you to learn from this is to not let your king get cut off like that.